Okay. Can it work? I don't know. Let's try this. Hey, look at the lighting.
Hello. I love it. It's so bright. It's so not a shadow on your face. I also realized I don't think I sent you things to get on Amazon.
You did not do that yet.
I need to do that.
So I just got a really big lamp.
I mean, you did a great job. That's essentially what I was going to tell you to buy, but just in a circular fashion. I'm putting it on my to-do list because my brain is still a bit...
yeah, but your body gets shaken up. Your head gets shaken up, you know?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's what I figure.
And here's Chris. It sounds great. And now... Hello, Chris.
Hello, John.
How are you?
Radiant. Thank you very much for asking.
Oh, what a wonderful way to say that. Glad to see that, like everything involved in the Tale of Two Selbys project, when someone new is added to a video conference, they're always lacking lighting, which I think is a nice sign.
The only alternative is to have what Tim has previously described as my chandeliers on.
Yeah, I love the chandelier.
Yeah, can we see the chandelier, Chris?
I mean, chandelier is far too grand a term for it.
It's somehow more shadowy with light on.
Yeah, it's worse.
It also looks like you're perpetually having an idea.
I mean, that is how I've lived 38 years of my life.
Ladies
my God.
and gentlemen, Chris Jones meets John Hastings. John Canada Hastings meets Chris Selby Jones.
Very exciting.
It is exciting. I'm delighted to see that Selby is finally going international.
I'm very excited as well.
You say finally going international. It's clearly been international in Canada for years. We just didn't know that.
And this is
but that's what we're going to find out, though. Whether Selby Yorkshire has gone international, or whether these two things are just complete coincidences.
Well, my question is this, Chris: were you the person who took the call that discovered the other Selby? Are you the link?
Yeah, that's me who found out that there was a small town in Ontario called Selby, and it was a surprise to me. And I also discovered that it looks like there are quite a lot of Yorkshire-themed towns in the area.
Well, yeah, you have to think about it like there's something up with your mic, Chris. Is there a way to maybe use different headphones or something like that? It's just really, really scratchy.
Yeah, I've got that too. That's
cool. Yeah.
I have this, but it's not plugged into anything.
Is there a way to...
Are we recording this? Is this all going... Because this is terrible content.
Yeah, but we just edit it.
You say we just edit it. Who has spent the better part of 2 days listening to me and you jabbering on about pirates?
Ooh!
Is that coming through all right?
Yeah, I'm quite impressed.
Now that's lovely.
That's really nice. Yeah.
All right.
The only trouble is I now have to hold a microphone for the entire conversation.
Is that the difference, John, between doing what I'm doing and having a mic?
Yours is of higher quality, but you then...
I mean, wow.
Yeah, so then that's why...
I mean, this is an SM58, so this is like your standard gigging microphone.
So this one right here is as well. Just on a nice arm.
You've just met and already you're talking tech. It's a beautiful thing.
Mine is also on a lovely arm.
Yay! So Chris is joining us for a very specific reason. He is the person that took the call from the person in Canada who was attempting to buy tickets for a show that they thought was coming to their Selby in Ontario, Canada, but was actually coming to the Selby in England, Yorkshire, which gave us the idea for this silly project of trying to link these two towns. Now, I propose this. I want to find the person that called.
Yes.
So, Chris, what is your official title in the town of Selby? We already know that Tim is the pittenser of Selby. So what is your title?
My title is far less grand, I'm afraid, but I am the arts officer for Selby Town Council.
I 100% disagree. That is far more prestigious sounding than the pittenser, because pittenser sounds small. You're the officer of art.
That's true. And when you reverse it, suddenly, you know, I've done this job for 16 years, and I've never felt as grand as I do now. Lockdown. I've lost so much hair through lockdown.
I love it. It's so nice. So you took the call from the person in Selby, Ontario. Now, do you remember what the show was they were attempting to see?
No, I do remember being slightly baffled at how they had accidentally thought that a venue in an entirely different country was theirs, but it is a problem that we've come across before, but not on an international scale. But there is a Selby Community Centre in London.
That might be important, John. We should take that on board. There's a Selby Community Centre in London. So could Selby, Canada, be named after
the Community Centre,
which is named after Selby, Yorkshire? I mean, who knows?
I think it's in Tottenham. I'd have to double check that, but I think it's in Tottenham.
Okay.
Oh, quality football team and a quality community center. Now, here is the question I have. And I would like both of you to guess, how does a Canadian person, where the phone numbers in Canada are maximum 10 numbers, how do they not notice they're calling they had to dial 0111 and then the city code, then the phone number to call? How did they do that? How did that happen?
I'm going to say they were a really big fan of the show and just didn't care. Loved the show so much they would have dialed any numbers. I mean, imagine, John. Imagine if Avril Lavigne, because we have talked of her before,
of course,
playing like your local venue. You would dial any old number, wouldn't you?
Actually, no, I wouldn't. I'm going to say this right now. If I saw you,
you would just stand there in the crowd.
Well, you dial a venue number, Tim. You wouldn't just dial any old number. You'd at least dial the number of a venue that she was playing.
You wouldn't like dial 999 and expect to get a ticket.
You wouldn't just dial my mum's old number from the house I grew up, hoping to get a ticket for an Avril Lavigne. You wouldn't dial 613-761. I'm not going to give you the rest of the number.
Some bloke gave me a number in a bar and said, this guy will give you some tickets. And I thought, stuff it. I really wanted to see the cricket. I dialed the number, got put through to this bloke. He picked up the phone and I said, hello, I gather you're the bloke who can get me the tickets. Some fella gave me a number in a bar and the line went really quiet. And then this voice just came back and went, you don't phone the Minister of Sport to get your private cricket tickets. And I just went, I don't think they mentioned that you were the minister. And he went, but since you're a friend of the guy in the bar, you can have some tickets. And
no,
that was why I ended up sitting in the West Indian stand. So it was like the entire West Indian supporters plus me on my own, just watching England. No, I was in the West Indies when I was drinking.
The craziness of this whole thing, and actually what I want to focus on is this person had to dial 14 numbers, 4 more than they may have ever seen to go to this venue. That is something that stops anyone. This is a shocking turn of event. I need to know what year could have this have been, Chris? Was this pre-COVID? Obviously.
Pre-COVID. It was a couple of years ago. I mean, there are places in the UK that do have one kind of fewer digits. I think there are kind of areas of Devon where there simply are not enough people to justify 11 digits in the phone number.
Because North American numbers are structured differently because they're easier to say because we had the phones first, so we got the nice easy ones where it's just da 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 da. Well, the UK and European phone numbers are like ba 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 ba.
Is that how it sounds to you?
Yes. How does it sound to you?
Well, I mean, it sounds slightly poetical. They're in,
Go on.
Aren't they in? Yeah, they're sort of 10 numbers, give or take. I mean, basically, with the UK number, you can work out what village you're in if you know the numbers.
Can you?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
the first 4 numbers, if you're outside of London, the first 4 numbers give you the county. The next 2 numbers give you the village, and then the next 4 numbers give you essentially where the house is. So if you're really clever, you can kind of go, aha, you're in such and such a village. I know you. So that, yeah.
But now cell phones have screwed that all up because everyone's just sort of everywhere.
Yeah, they really have.
Someone once told me that the area dialing code, that once you've got past the 01, the first number matches on a, do you know, like on a text screen when there's the number and the letters underneath it. So you know, old school texting when you're on a Nokia brick. That actually the number matches the letter of the area that you're dialing, and I have yet to find. I haven't checked it out comprehensively, but I've yet to find one where that isn't the case.
So you're in Yorkshire. So is it 0? Is it 09?
No,
or
is the 01? The 01 something.
So in Selby, so we're 01904. So it's 9 is the key number there.
That for Yorkshire,
but it's for York. So our area is York. So the 9 is Y on the keypad.
this is a difference. In Canada, everything is just 1, and then there's the area code. Selby, I believe, would be in the 613, which is the Ottawa Valley area code, which you can occasionally be heard. You can occasionally hear 416 being shouted by rappers, or the 6 being shouted, which is either the end of the area code or the 6 areas that make up Toronto, which has nothing to do with Selby, but it's fun area code based trivia.
I like the way the thing that's really got you about this is the phone number.
I've legitimately
not the fact that there were 2 Selbys, a significantly previously unknown Selby, but it's the phone numbers that's got you. You're like
because
Poirot.
But this is
You're
the
like
difference.
Agatha Christie based telephone detective. That's what you are.
Sorry, I just noticed my fingers inflamed. Canada.
Why?
And the
how have you offended your finger? You've got enough injuries. I mean, at least you can lift your arm.
Yeah, barely. I want to know why they chose Selby, and that there's still no Birmingham in Canada, which I will, or Manchester. That's the oddest thing in the world to me. But, or York, or Sheffield. Just saying. But the idea that someone in Selby, Canada, for how difficult it is to dial internationally to England because of how our phone system is set up, if you don't do it fast enough, you just end up calling someone in Canada with some of the UK number. That they went through all of that laborious process, never questioning their position to call a venue from a town that is so small they could visibly see this venue if it existed, to inquire about a show that they had to have seen on the internet. It's everything about it is fascinating. This is someone who we're taking that hill, and I don't care if it's snowing or it's sleeting or it's thunderstorming. They're going up the hill, baby. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. I mean, it is strange. I mean, it is odd. But people do strange things. Not least, I've demonstrated how long it is since I actually went in the office by getting the area code of Selby incorrect. So I live in York and have given the York area code. Of course, the Selby area code is 01757, but it does still work because the 7 and the S are correct.
I mean, I really enjoy that. Chris, is there a way we can identify what show drew their attention? I'm going to guess it's something that it was vaguely connected to both, like some sort of musical review of Due South, or possibly a musical version of Degrassi. I don't know why musical comes into mind. Because someone who likes a musical is passionate. They'll go to the effort, like dialing 18 numbers to just reach Chris in confusion.
We have a surprisingly large number of kind of Canadian bluegrass acts come over and play with us.
Selby Town Hall is a bit of a magnet for the old Canadian bluegrass. That's a true story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Home from home.
Yep.
I mean, this is a fascinating turn of events. Now, Tim, what other things do you have on the docket? Do you have anything else on the docket, or I have some things?
I mean, I should feed back to Chris that you're running. John's theory currently is that the 2 Selbys were founded simultaneously by a father and son Viking duo. That's what he's running. I mean, do you have any comment that might?
Yeah.
Anyway.
And I do need to state there are some severe flaws in this, what I believe, true plan, but it still could be done.
His battle cry is currently research prove me wrong.
Yeah, prove me wrong.
That's what he's going with.
I mean, if the sun, assuming the sun was a bit fitter, and so they said to, as a handicap, that the son was tasked with the Atlantic, and the father was tasked with the North Sea, and then it was like who could get there first. And I suspect there was some kind of incident in the North Sea, and the son actually.
Whoa! Let's not gloss over what was the incident in the North Sea.
Whales,
mermaids.
Yeah, sirens. I mean that kind of standard seafaring folklore incident. Son actually reached land first, realised by means of pigeon post or whatever that he had already beaten his father, and the only thing to do was to keep going until he reached what is now known as Selby, Ontario. So that was the point at which they kind of both landed at the same time. Was his father had made it up the Ouse to Selby, Yorkshire, and he'd gone all the way inland to Selby, Ontario, and they both hit those at precisely the same time.
I mean, you heard it here first, John.
There's nothing he said that I don't disagree with.
No, I mean that's the second person that I've heard say that now. So it's gaining ground.
Yeah, it's true. And if you count each ear individually, fourth person.
Yeah. I mean, it's the theory that's gaining ground.
And Tim, your working theory is?
Selby, Yorkshire was founded first.
That holds some water, but maybe not as much water as my theory.
Okay.
Now, so we now have a division. We have also divisions of tasks.
Oh.
Are you excited? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Because we now need to figure out how we're going to reach out to Selby, Ontario. This is why Tim does the editing and I do the admin, baby. So, I've been thinking about this. If I am the mayor of Napanee, the greater Napanee area, which Selby is a portion of, I am not going to respond in a time of COVID crisis to two scrappy comedians. So here's the question. How do we bring that town on board so we can find out how Selby was founded? We can find out who that person was and what show they were trying to see. We can find out why do they love bluegrass so much. Here's my question. Can we get some sort of official letterhead to include in the email? Do we just send a traditional letter and see how that works? What is everyone's plans? Thoughts?
I think we should start with go to the people. Take it to the people.
I like this. Even though you are a Pittenser, you're wearing a scarf indoors, potentially an ascot. It is in fact an ascot confirmed.
Go to the people. Take it to the people. It needs to become a populist movement.
Selby, Ontario business.
Or take it to the church, take it to the schools, take it to the local residents.
I mean, the churches and business are two different things. You need to make a decision. So we have
I think email all of them, the community.
Okay, here are the following things that we have. We have the farm equipment and supplies of Selby, farms and ranches of Selby, and hydroponic systems and equipment Selby, the stables of Selby, the fruit and vegetable growers and distribution of Selby, and the
here, isn't there? I mean,
I think
there is a theme.
Yeah. By the way, if you click on this, then a bunch of these are not in Selby. The Yellow Pages of Canada, once again, and I choose my French very carefully, has screwed the pooch as usual. All right. So job one, I'm making a note of this.
I think
list of businesses, draft email, contact all businesses before next dispatch, so we can find out what they say.
And maybe the church as well.
I think definitely the church. Here's my question: do churches have emails?
They do normally. Yeah.
Isn't that odd though? Because shouldn't God be able to? I mean, we're not going to get into it. When I stayed in New York before COVID for 10 days in a lovely flat in Greenwich Village, also known as Greenwich Village. Psychic downstairs. It took me like 4 days to figure out how she did this. She would always come to the door and say hello to me when I was walking out of the building. And it took me days to figure, how does she know I'm always out because it was at different times, stuff like that. She could hear the stairs from from her back office area.
It took you days to do that.
Took me days to do. It wasn't the only thing I was working on mentally. Like there was
she had ears. She had a glass against the wall, listening to your every movement. I think that's more concerning in a lot of ways, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, she's just
waiting. Just sat.
She would always.
What else is she doing? She's clearly not a busy psychic, is she?
It was clearly a move. Do you know what I'm saying? Hello.
Oh.
Yeah, and also I bring up New York because New York connected to York. It is the New York of York. Selby is in Yorkshire. Is there a New York connection to Selby? I'm adding that to the list.
Okay.
Is there a New York connection? Is there?
Is there a New York connection?
One last thing. So we need to in this email include both of our theories. That Tim, yours, Selby founded first, mine simultaneously founded by Vikings. We also need to figure out a way to say that so that the person at the church doesn't immediately assume we are insane.
I think we should draft the email carefully.
In this case, I think I'm going to say you're right. Because I want to actually get answers to some of these questions. Sure, some of them are going to prove me wrong. Let's just quickly go through this. Can we take, the three of us, a bet on who has the most information about Selby, Ontario?
What, now?
Of the which bit I want you to guess a business or the church, and you have to guess the business. I'm going to say the mechanic knows everything about the town. Oh, you think he's just a working class scumbag, but no. It's like a library in there, has a memory palace, very well built. Tim, thoughts?
A person that sits in a pew in the church week in, week out, and just knows the place. You never know.
I mean, my mind is just blown.
You never know.
Chris, do you think it'll be the arts officer of Selby? Do you think there is an arts officer of Selby?
Let's find out. I think it's probably most likely to be the proprietor of a small grocery store, somewhere pretty central that everybody frequents, and it is a kind of central meeting point. You don't just go there for your groceries; you go there for a chinwag with your other Celebs and find out what's going on.
We don't know what the citizens of Selby call themselves.
Celebians.
No, but that's in in Yorkshire.
Selby, Yorkshire is Celebs, but yeah, they may well. Yeah. I mean, that may not have translated
because they're called New Yorkers in New York, but they're not called Yorkers in York.
Correct.
They're called Yorkshiremen.
Yes.
Think of that.
So you think they're going to be called Selbys
or Selbers?
Selbys.
Or something completely different. It might be like how people from Liverpool are called Scousers. Maybe people from Selby are called Liverpudlians. I don't know. Yeah. These are all very big possibilities, all things that need to be placed in the very carefully drafted letter. So next time that we two or we three meet, much like the witches in Macbeth, we will have sent these dispatches out. We will have a report on who replied. We will know if a grocery store exists. We will know if there is a church. We will know if there's an old person there. We will know if any of them have any information. What if we discover through this none of them know what is going on? What's our plan then, gentlemen?
We'll get a fallback position.
That is one of the most English things I've ever heard you ever say, which is you just formulated a plan by saying nothing that's actually a plan, and I 100% believe it's going to happen.
Well, you should.
Small town,
yeah.
It must have a local history association. There must be. It's the kind of place where you think there are a lot of people that have spent a lot of time and have formed some kind of local history association. We've lost the time. Oh, he's back.
Yeah, Chris is broken.
We've done that.
I don't know how we do it. I'll just say what Chris was about to say before he became a immersive blob. And that is that Chris believes, and I'm going to say this probably rightly, that there is some sort of local historical association in Selby, Ontario, that will send an overly long email once we track them down.
Or a moose. Could be a moose.
Oh, imagine if they just send me a moose. Oh,
I'd love it.
Wonderful.
Let's get a moose going.
I mean, it would be very difficult. It would not fit in my flat.
Oh.
And I don't know if I have enough grass and greens to sustain it. Because here's the thing.
What I would absolutely love, if last time we talked about Selby being go to the bend on the river, 3 swans.
Yes.
If it was just like somebody went drive on that road until you see 3 mooses.
Oh.
And just don't hit them, and that's where you build Selby.
Well, here's the thing: you never want to hit a moose. They are shockingly strong, and they just destroy your car and then walk away.
What is it? Is it mooses or mice?
It's
what
meese.
Is the thing? It's meese,
I believe.
What,
I think it's either meese or mooses. I think it is a controversial topic. I think it's an oft Canadian phrase. You know which town you're in when you say meese or mooses.
Oh. So what would be the daughter of the sister of a moose? The daughters of the sister of the moose would be a meese niece.
The meese niece, yes.
Is that right?
Yes, and the daughter and the son of the moose's sister would be the moofu.
The moofu? No, it would be the meese nephew.
No. That's what they want you to think.
Oh, okay. Those mooses, those meeses sneaking up on people with their thoughts. Amazing.
Exactly. Coming over here, using our sugar.
Brilliant. Good. We probably should we cease the recording? I don't know. It's a suggestion.